Let's go to the offensive line, Brad. We got a question from Bruce Callum who asked, who do we think will be the best player on the offensive line and the defensive line? We'll hold the defensive line for now. But I don't think it's any question that Carter Smith is going to be the best player on this offensive line. So I'll remove Carter Smith from it. Let's look at the rest of the room. We'll go through the room, and then I'll ask you to answer the question. But let's talk about the offensive line.
All right. Offensive line, we have 13 scholarship guys coming in this year. 5 of them have been in the program for 2 years, which I think is really exciting. They bring in 5 returning starters, as in guys that have played a lot of football and were starters last year, either at Indiana or where they were before. And I think that's awesome. I think this O-line at the top is going to be – I think I'll just start there. The O-line at the top is going to be – this is the best 5 we have coming into a season. It's the most solid 5. There's no debates. There's no who's going to play where, who's gonna fit in. Like, maybe the only question really is who's playing. Or Brunner, is Brunner playing right tackle or Ajani? Then the other one's playing right guard. Like, that's really the only thing. The left side of the line is completely solved with Smith at left tackle, Drew Evans at left guard, and Bray Lynch likely going at center because he had to step in when Coogan knocked off his helmet. So I think that cleared the air. Like, hey, Lynch is playing center next year. And then right now I have Brunner at right guard, and then I have the Rose Bowl. But he was listed at 6'7", 315, big guard. That's a tackle body. But he's a natural guard. Ajani started at right tackle in the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl. I think we stick with him there. And I think that's the group going into it. And for me, coming off two straight Joe Moore Award nominations, finalists, right? This is the best group yet, and this team should be this group should be a shoo-in for the Joe Moore Award, which should give you a lot of hype because that's the engine that's going to keep this offense humming. And if this is we already went through all the skill guys that we have and all the talent, all the athleticism, it matches what we had last year. We went up in the offensive line for sure. Just bringing back 4 starters, being able to just plug in Joe Brunner right there, and then we're off to the races. I think a key guy to call out would be the other 5th guy who's been in the Signeti program for 5 years would be Austin Leibfried. 6'6", 306, redshirt sophomore. He's going to be the 6th O lineman. He brings a lot of versatility. He's played guard. He's played tackle in garbage time for this ball club. I think it doesn't matter who goes down. I think he's stepping in whether it's even center. I think there's a good versatility element to Leibfried, which once again makes this O-line group very, very strong. Behind this, it's a lot of question marks, a lot of year 2, year 1 guys, just in that sense, right? Not saying we're very high on Bob Bostead and his ability to evaluate talent. Ajani, who is now a returning starter, starting right tackle as a redshirt sophomore. He was a redshirt freshman last year. And, I'm going to run through them. Matt Merrick, I have at left guard, 6'3", 308, redshirt freshman. Evan Parker, number 66, 6'4", 308, redshirt freshman. And then Baylor Wilkin, 6'5", 290, redshirt freshman. That fills out the 2 deep if I included Jack Greer, who's a walk-on. But that fills out the 2 deep. Leibfried and those 3 redshirt freshmen are going to fill that out. And exciting group. I think there's a lot to like. We like how nasty Baylor Wilkin is. I think Merrick is literally a mold of Drew Evans in a lot of senses. And, they're all up. Every single guy on this group, including the true freshmen, are 300 plus, which is awesome. So awesome. Besides, actually, Baylor Wilkins listed at 290, but, he's very athletic. He's tackle body. He can play a little lighter. He's a very strong guy. Exciting group. And I think when called upon, this group should be ready, considering the development of Ajani. You should feel confident if needed to be called upon. They're ready to go. Let's hope that's not the case, because the starting group plus Leibfried is a fantastic 6 group of O linemen that we have coming back. And there's a big reason why Evan Lawrence had to go to San Diego State and get a starting job, because it's like, man, do I want to be the 7th guy here? I don't know if I want to. I'd rather start somewhere and potentially come back, whereas these 6 feels like they're going to have huge roles this upcoming year. And obviously these redshirt freshmen are chomping at the bit too. And then we bring in 4 true freshmen as well. Kenton Mondu is not on campus yet. He's listed 6'7", 315. I have him at right tackle. He looks the part as well. CJ Skiffers, number 60, 6'5", 310, true freshman out of Indiana. Sam Sampson, number 75, 6'3", 311, true freshman out of Wisconsin. And then Benjamin Novak, number 71, 6'6", 320. I have him at left tackle as a true freshman. So the true freshmen fill out that third deep, but probably going to be redshirt years for them. But yeah, super strong O-line group. I think we just got to go back to the starters at this point. Like,
can I ask you a different question?
Yeah, that Merrick Parker group and Wilkin, the Merrick Parker and Wilkin group, that their development's going to be the biggest key in spring for me.
So in your mind, it's an absolute lock that because Carter Smith obviously is in the sling and he's dealing with the shoulder issue. He's going to be ready for the start of the season, but he's obviously not going to be ready for spring ball. No doubt in your mind, it's Austin Liebfried lining up at left tackle. Or can I pose a hypothetical?
He's at left. I think he plays left tackle in the spring.
Can I pose a hypothetical for you based on perceived draft speculation? This isn't something that I believe, though. Joe Brunner has played, I believe, his entire career at left tackle. Carter Smith, who was literally Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year at left tackle, didn't have the draft buzz he wanted. And there was even some sort of chatter that, like, I heard potentially center might even be a move for him, which would be kind of crazy. What did, like, scale of 1 to 100, like how likely is it that they actually brought in Brunner to play left tackle and that it's going to be Carter, not Bray, playing center?
Brunner has played every single snap at Wisconsin, every single start at Wisconsin at left guard.
Left guard,
which is Drew Evans' position.
Oh, so then
I don't see them taking that. I see him moving to right guard. If not, maybe right tackle. He does have, as a guard with that body, that can play as a right tackle in college, but we have a Johnny there. He started the Bama game and the Oregon game in the playoffs at those spots, which are why
I'm not saying that's what I would do.
That lightning come on me right now. Did you see that? Light flashed at me. It was lightning. It's crazy. But yeah, I think Austin Liebfried comes in and slots into that left tackle spot. That's not what I was expecting you were going to ask me, by the way. I was pretty surprised. Where are you hearing this? Him playing center? I think No.
I'm not hearing that from – I'm not, like, reading that from, like, this is coming from Indiana's camp. I'm saying there was some, like, weird draft buzz back before he committed to coming back that was, like, he might have a better shot as a center, which I was like, that's strange. He's really Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year. So I figured I'd bring it up to you, see what you thought.
Yeah. You want to hear my take? I'm not the biggest O-line guy, but you know how I always tell you, like, every single recruit that we bring in, it was a left tackle in high school, like on the O-line, which is true. They all are. And maybe I was a little wrong about the Ajani making regard. He ends up being a right tackle. But a lot of versatility is a big theme of this offensive line with the Bostad group. And that's awesome, by the way. That's so cool. A lot of these guys can play a lot of different positions. Especially like when you talk Bray Lynch, Ajani, Brunner, Liebfried, like those are versatile guys. I think Evans and Smith are kind of pigeonholed in those spots. But when it comes to the NFL, most O-linemen were also tackles in college. It kind of works the same way. Centers were usually centers. That's one thing that reigns true. But usually, there's a lot of guards in the NFL that were tackles. There's more guards that were guards, but plenty of tackles in college end up being and slotted in. And you're the best offensive lineman on your team. You can play guard on the 49ers. Like, go ahead. That type of deal. So, same philosophy there. Just not as, obviously not as severe.
I like it. Yeah. I think, like you said, there's literally 4 or 5 starters from this national championship team are coming back. If you're going to count Ajani like we do as starters, Brunner played his entire career at Wisconsin. Like, if you don't want to call him a starter at Indiana, fine. But he's got to be, if he's not the most productive returning lineman in the country, he's up there. Like there was the stat a couple weeks ago that like Indiana is returning like the 8th most production in the country, I think, or whatever their number was. And it's like, they're very, very, very experienced on the offensive side of the ball on the line, like especially for the Kurt Cignetti, Bob Bostad system, which is very encouraging for like with kind of where we started, where it's like 16-0 last year makes you a little nervous about how it's going to fall this year. It's like we have the same offensive line that took us there. They're just all a year older and more experienced.
Oh, I have an update.
Yeah.
Joe Brunner, blue chip guy.
Hey,
4-star in high school.
There you go.
There you go. How about that?
How about that?
That matters. Who is the best offensive lineman besides Carter Smith on this team? I mean, Drew Evans been nails, man. Definitely not Bray Lynch.
Come on.
Bray Lynch's my guy. National champ. Tom Allen guy. I love Bray Lynch. Not the best. He's not the best on our O-line. He's a starter. It's not like I'm disrespecting him here. I would say right now it's probably Drew Evans, but long term it's definitely going to be Ajani. That guy's going to be an NFL player. He's going to be. He was a me eye test. That's an NFL guard.
Ajani is a me eye test. That's why I'm climbing up the eye test. I'm not quite master of the eye test yet, but it's getting
Ajani, 6'4", 308, playing Big Ten right tackle. That's an NFL right guard if I've ever seen one in my life, and he's gonna be damn good at it too. Super excited for his career. He's gonna have a long NFL career, and having him at right tackle, having him back potentially for 2 more years, hopefully, fingers crossed. Because considering the guard projection, like. Good, massive for this team to have him, considering 4 of this starting group are gone next year. It's the last ride for the Carter Smith, the Drew Evans, Bray Lynch crew, which by the way, like, don't get enough credit there for being like 3-year starters in this Cignetti era. I think they're the only guys that have started 3 years here.
Hardy. Farrell.
He didn't really start. I wouldn't have called Hardy a starter in 2024.
Sig called him a starter.
Farrell. I would say Farrell. So those 3 and Farrell, like those guys seem like.
Landino.
He wasn't a starter in 2024. He wasn't. It was Carpenter and CJ West.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
It is very impressive. And Hardy wasn't I guess Hardy was the 3rd linebacker, but we did start 2. It was Walker and Fisher.
We were full-blown 4-2-5. Like, we weren't playing a ton of –
we weren't –
But he was on the field.
We didn't have the versatility because we had a true freshman 2-star as our 3rd linebacker. That's a diss. Or Hardy's damn good. He's the best player on our team. So,